The Amazing Spider-Man is honestly 10 times better than people think it is. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're doing well. In this video we are going to be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man, and I just wanted to say off the bat, I absolutely love this interpretation of the Spider-Man character, of the Peter Parker character, even of the Spider-Man world. I just think it's so brilliant. Yes, the Raimi-verse is really cool in terms of portraying the more nerdier type of Peter Parker character, and the MCU is obviously amazing in terms of having a much more modern adaptation of the character. But the Amazing Spider-Man series honestly is just so much darker, so much grittier, and so much more grounded in realism as well. And it still has the heart of what makes the Peter Parker character, the Peter Parker and Spider-Man character. And you know, it isn't full-blown DC dark in terms of being like Gotham City or The Dark Knight, etc. It's just really cool new interpretation, and I'm just really gutted for Andrew Garfield that he didn't even at least get to complete a trilogy within this universe, as his take was really witty, really cool, really hilarious as well. And he just brought a new flavour, a new cheekiness, and a new bit of realism to the character, which I really appreciated. And I just thought the world was really cool as well. And I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So this movie often gets criticised for being yet again another origin movie, and yes, it is a little bit of a retelling of the Peter Parker origin storyline of how he became the Spider-Man character. However, they definitely do put their own new spin on everything, and they add in this really cool darker mystery in terms of what was happening with Peter's parents, and also they change up and speed up the tragic passing of the Uncle Ben character, and also they add in Kurt Connors and the Lizard in a really natural way, so this character is also part of the origin storyline of Peter Parker. I also love the world building that they did with Peter's immediate characters. So for example, they made the Gwen Stacy character such a natural and perfect fit for the Peter Parker character, and the casting for both of them was absolutely brilliant. Also, Flash Thompson felt like a really modernized version and comic book accurate version of the bully character in high school, and again, perfect casting for the Flash Thompson character. And also, I absolutely loved the scenes of Peter Parker first getting his acrobatic and super strength powers. All of those scenes were absolutely brilliant, especially the scene on the train. Such brilliant cinematography happening in that sequence, and was really hilarious, and was visually really appealing as well. And it definitely inspired the Power Rangers reboot a couple of years later in terms of how the Rangers get their super strength powers, and the impact that this has on the real world definitely inspired that movie. And also it had a lot to live up to, especially with it following the beloved Raimi trilogy. And I think it did it in a really respectful way, as it wasn't trying to undo or redo what had gone on before. It was trying to do a new interpretation, and I think it did it in a really respectful way, as it was showing that it's a new, edgy, cool, more modernized take on the character and the world. And I think they were really successful from a storyline point of view. So from a casting characters point of view, I honestly feel like the Amazing Spider-Man universe did such a good job with all of their casting, especially in this movie and in the sequel as well. I feel like their decisions of who they casted for the particular roles was absolutely brilliant. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we of course have Andrew Garfield playing both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and I really like the reinterpretation that they did with this character in terms of moving him from a nerd who wears glasses and as such is a bit of an outsider, to a literal outsider who still is really intelligent, but is also really reclusive and is a bit of an outsider as well. And I really like the fact that when he puts on his mask, you really are able to see his more comic accurate spunkiness and cheekiness coming out as well. And I think this is a really interesting commentary on society as well, as when people have anonymity, they feel as if they can say and do whatever they like, for example, like keyboard warriors on social media. So I think this is a really interesting aspect of this character. And also, they really dialed up the realism of a teenager with clear abandonment issues and a longing to find out more about his parents, and this really fuels his attitude, his rebellion, his moodiness, his passion, and ultimately his power as well. So I feel like Andrew Garfield did such a good job in really bringing this new interpretation of Peter Parker and Spider-Man to life. Next up, we have another excellent casting, which is Emma Stone as the Gwen Stacy character. And not only did she have brilliant chemistry with the Andrew Garfield actor, but also she was really playing the perfect daddy's girl who is super intelligent, super fun and really valuing what's important in life, for example, family. And there was just a lot of foreshadowing for her tragic upcoming passing, and I really feel like she brought the cool geek chic vibe to the character as well. Next up we have the villain in this film, played by Rhys Ifans, playing Kurt Connors, who was understandably really determined to try to get his arm back and unintentionally becomes a lizard. Now, he isn't as complex or as evil as Green Goblin and Norman Osborn from the first movie, and I wasn't that impressed with the design of this character, but still I feel like he's a really formidable villain, and it was really nice to finally see the lizard in the Spider-Man movie. Sam Raimi wanted to use him in the third/the fourth movie, so it was nice to kind of see that happening in this movie. Next up we have Zylka as the Flash in this movie, and honestly, out of all of the interpretations of the Flash character, I feel like this is definitely the best one. Definitely feels very comics accurate and just feels like a real high school bully. But not just that, I feel like they added a lot of depth to this character as well, and how he was comforting Peter Parker. Even though he's a little bit of a rival to him, he still could see the heart of this character when he had the unfortunate passing of Uncle Ben. So I feel like this character actually had quite a lot of layers, and was also somewhat involved with the Gwen Stacy character. She was really helping him and mentoring him in high school. So I just feel like this character was absolutely brilliant in this movie. Next up we have Sally Field, who also was really, really good as the Aunt May character. She had such a believable and brilliantly hilarious relationship with Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, and I just feel like it was a different interpretation again to what Rosemary Harris was doing in the same role in the Sam Raimi universe, and I just love Sally Field as an actress, and I just feel like she brought so much warmth to this character. Next up we have Peter's parents, who, like I said, it was really, really cool to see this more mysterious aspect. So not only was it a Spider-Man origin storyline, it was also a Peter Parker origin storyline in terms of really understanding where he came from and the darkness and the mystery surrounding his parents, and how this naturally links to the Oscorp organization as well. And then finally we have Denis Leary playing George Stacy, Gwen Stacy's father. And I really like how this character was embodying a bit of J. Jonah Jameson, as he isn't that big of a fan of Spider-Man and also isn't that big of a fan of Peter Parker either, as he is a really protective father. And so all in all, I just feel like from a casting character's point of view, the Amazing Spider-Man universe just got it absolutely right. So when it comes to the visuals, this honestly is also where the Amazing Spider-Man world really does come into its own, as well as honestly the visuals just look unbelievable. Super spectacular, really, really cinematic, and just looks absolutely breathtaking. You can also feel the darkness and the edginess and the super modernization in this movie as well, and certain aspects are true horror movie-esque in this film as well. And Oscorp, the organization, you can really just feel the evilness of this massive empire, and the craziness and the scientific advancements that this organization is making. You can really see it in this movie, and at points as well it really does elevate itself to not just being a superhero movie, but being a bit of an action adventure movie as well, which makes it really, really cool. I feel like the suit looks really, really spectacular as well. I absolutely love what they did with the eyes in the MCU universe, so for that alone, I just feel like the Spider-Man suit is really, really cool. But as far as this interpretation is done, it's really, really nice. It's a lot darker, it's a lot slicker, and I just feel like the eyes look really, really cool as well. And then the sequences in this movie are absolutely incredible as well. The swinging around New York looks absolutely breathtaking. I feel like this is then elevated even further in the next movie. And like I said before as well, the train sequence was just brilliantly hilarious. How Peter's just constantly saying sorry to everyone while unintentionally hurting everyone as well. And the acrobatics that Andrew Garfield is bringing to the role just feels really, really natural as well. And the fight sequences with the lizard and saving all of the cars on the bridge, everything in this movie from a visuals point of view honestly looks absolutely fantastic. So in terms of comparisons, I do appreciate all of the interpretations and all of the movies that they've made for the Spider-Man character. I feel like they're all brilliant in their own right. That being said, Andrew Garfield has and always will be my favourite interpretation of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I just love what he did with the character. He made him really, really cool, really, really funny, really, really edgy. And the Spider-Man character, I just feel like is super witty and exactly how you imagine he would be when reading the comics and watching the animation series as well. And also, just absolutely love the world that they were building in this series as well. It was a little bit chilling, a little bit scary at times as well. But I just really, really appreciated that. I wish it could have continued a little bit more, as they were just building such brilliant stuff with this movie. Even though the second Spider-Man movie gets super criticized, I do actually prefer that movie to this one, just because I feel like it was establishing the world really, really well. I feel like it was able to elevate itself. After this movie did such a good job in terms of setting all of the foundations, they were really able to supercharge the relationship between Peter and with Gwen as well, and really giving him a formidable foe with Electro as well. Now, comparing this movie to the first Sam Raimi movie, I absolutely love both of them. I think from an origin point of view, they both do the origin storyline very differently, and I think they're both really great from a comparisons point of view. So overall, I'm sure it will come as no surprise that I absolutely loved the first Amazing Spider-Man movie and the sequel as well. I'm really, really gutted that we didn't get to see it continue, as it just had so much potential. They were building up this world so brilliantly. The characters were great, the cast that they selected for them were really, really cool as well, and the storyline was really, really great as well. Really, really mysterious, really, really chilling, really dark. It was just a really nice, new, fresh take on everything as well, and I actually think it was really comics accurate as well, and I just feel like Andrew Garfield just brought so much to the role in terms of bringing a much darker, edgier, cooler, and just more mysterious aspect to this world and to the characters as well. You know, this movie isn't perfect, but I just feel like they did such a good job in trying to reinterpret it after all the brilliant stuff that Sam Raimi did in his equivalent movie, and so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.